After another explosive fight about money, my dad pointed at me and roared that I was the parasite draining them dry, that if I'd never been born, they wouldn't be trapped in this miserable life. My mom didn't defend me. She just stared coldly and walked away. I walked out that night with nothing but my phone. No one even tried to stop me. Now they regret everything they said. Okay, so I never really post on here, but honestly what happened last week is so wild that I'm still kind of buzzing from it and also just angry in a way I can't even explain. So I guess this is part vent, part asking if anyone's had something like this happen with their parents before. Not gonna lie, I'm hoping at least a few people get why I did what I did. For background, I'm Marcus, 24, still living at home because rent is nuts. My parents basically would never let me forget it. Like, every single month, some new reason why I'm the reason the bills are high, or the reason they can't ever save money, or why the house always looks like crap. It's not like I'm just sitting around playing games all day. I cover my phone, I pay for my own food half the time, I do literally all the tech stuff for them like setting up their Wi-Fi, fixing their phones, even paying for some apps with my own card because they don't want to deal with confusing online stuff. But honestly, the whole thing has been building for years. My dad, Floyd, has always been one of those guys who's just angry at the world. Nothing ever worked out for him, and he's always looking for someone to pin it on. He lost a decent job when I was in middle school, never really got back on his feet, so now he kind of acts like being stuck in this old falling apart house with my mom, Catherine, and me is some kind of punishment. My mom just acts like she's above it all, cold, always has been, more worried about what the neighbors think than what's actually going on in her own house. Anyway, all of that is just background. The night itself was next level. It actually started weird, not even a bad day. I noticed my dad was being extra silent, not even fake nice, just silent. I walked in and he was on the couch just staring at the wall and didn't even nod. Whatever, not the first time he's pulled the silent treatment move. I figured he was mad about the internet bill again because I got an email saying the autopay failed, but I was going to fix it after dinner. We're eating, if you can call it that, just reheated leftovers, and I'm trying to scroll through TikTok with my volume down, but he's just glaring at me, not even eating, just full-on staring. My mom's acting like she doesn't notice, picking at her food and looking at her phone under the table. Then he suddenly gets up, walks over to the fridge, opens it and just stands there. Then he starts going off about how there's never any food, how I eat everything decent and leave nothing for anyone else, and how, back in my day, people respected the roof over their head. I try to ignore it, but he keeps going and then starts ranting about the electricity bill, how I'm the only one who leaves the lights on, which is a lie because my mom leaves the kitchen light on literally all night. And then he just snaps. He slams the fridge door so hard it bounces open again, comes right up to me, and starts yelling about how I'm the parasite draining them dry. Not even in a low voice, he's going off saying, if you'd never been born, we'd have actually had a shot at a good life. You ruined everything. If you weren't here, we wouldn't be stuck in this miserable life. You ever have that moment where you're not even shocked anymore, just pissed off that he's saying it out loud? I looked at my mom, expecting her to at least say something like, that's enough, or, don't talk like that. But she just looked at me blank, then got up and walked out of the room. Not a word. I kind of lost it, to be honest. I stood up so fast my chair fell over, and I just yelled back like, if I'm such a problem, why don't I just leave? And my dad legit just said, yeah, go ahead. See if anyone else will put up with you. I know I should have just walked away, but I shoved past him. He tried to grab my arm, I pulled away, he almost tripped over the chair, and then he started yelling at my mom to get back here and see what your precious son is doing. She didn't even turn around, just kept walking toward her room. I just stood there for a second, kind of shaking, then said, screw this, and grabbed my phone off the table. Here's the thing, I left my wallet, keys, everything. I literally only had my phone and the clothes I was wearing, sweatpants, old hoodie, socks, whatever. I walked out the front door, slammed it as hard as I could. I waited for someone to come after me. Nothing. Not a word, not even a text. I walked down the block, checked my phone. Nothing. I waited outside for 10-15 minutes just pacing, but still nothing. At one point, I thought maybe my mom would at least call, but nope. Kind of wild how easy it was for them. I started walking, no real plan, just away from the house. I'm texting a couple friends, no one's answering. It's a weeknight, everyone's busy. Just wandering. It's cold out, and I realize I don't even have my earbuds, which is just typical. I end up at the gas station near the bus stop, just standing there for like an hour, scrolling through random apps trying to distract myself. But all I can think about is how they didn't even try to stop me. Not one call. Not one comeback. Nothing. I keep replaying that moment in my head, but every time it just makes me angrier. Like not even sad, just rage. How many years did I put up with being their punching bag for money, chores, tech crap, all of it, and now they just let me walk out like I'm nothing? I finally text my friend Brian, who's not even that close anymore, just to see if I can crash on his couch. He says, yeah. So I walk over there, it's like a half hour. My feet are killing me by the end. I get to his place, he's half asleep but lets me in, asks what happened. I can tell he doesn't really believe me at first, like I think he thinks I'm exaggerating or something. I just show him my texts, none from my parents, all from me to them, nothing back, and he kind of nods, shrugs, tells me to crash in the living room. Sleeping on that busted futon was 10 times better than being in that house another minute. So yeah, I haven't gone back. Not even to grab my stuff. My sister texted once, she moved out years ago, barely talks to them, asking if I was okay. But even she said something like, you know how they are, like it's just a fact of life. I'm not going to lie, it feels like everyone just expects me to eat it and say thank you. But nah, I've had enough. I'm done. Here's the real kicker. My dad's always treated me like some financial leech because he never really recovered after losing his job, and every time something went wrong, it was because of me. Like if I needed new shoes, it was another expense. If I got sick, it was more money down the drain. I know a lot of people say stuff like, parents do their best, but sometimes their best is just not good enough. And when it's not, why should I stick around and keep making their lives easier? Anyway, I'm still figuring out what's next. I'm angry, yeah, but I'm not crawling back just so they can feel better about themselves. If they wanted me gone so bad, they got their wish. But I'm not done yet, not by a long shot. If anyone else ever snapped like this, let me know.